Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Total NASL Roundtable. I know you might have forgot about us, but we're back. I'm joined by the one and only Spencer, a Rowdies fan. If you're a Cosmo supporter, I think you should shut the show now. No, I'm joking. Hello, Spencer. How are you tonight, man?
Doing good. How you been, man?
I'm doing really good. Doing really good. Just surviving from that should have been a win against the Rowdies, but we'll get to that. We'll get to everything that's going on in the league. But can you talk about the Rowdies' performance? You guys dropped some points against the Fury. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think that I think the team is underperforming, and I think that I understand. In Rayo, we didn't have two coaches, didn't have Stewart, and another guy. But I mean, I honestly didn't expect to lose. Was it 2-0 to the Fury over the weekend? So
Yeah.
I think I don't know. I think there should be some fire there by Bill Edwards. I mean, it was put. The torch was on wrong again. Why is the torch not on Stu? I'm sorry. I might be the first person to say that, but I think that there should be. I think there should be a little fire started. I think there should be some things. I think fans should be wanting more from the team, and I mean the amount of money spent this year on. I mean, who knows how much? But I feel like it was more than last year for sure. And we spent some big names over. I mean, we brought in Joe Cole, who's been I think phenomenal, one of the best in the league this year. But I mean, we also brought in two more players over the break. So now they just loaned out Danny Mwenga to Ottawa, who just beat us. So,
That was a great move, right? Because you weren't using Dane that much, right?
Yeah, no, he came in. He wasn't really being used. We signed Preciado, who's another striker. We only put one striker anyway, so Georgie and Heineman were getting the playing time. So
Yeah,
it
like
was a good move to free up international.
yeah, like what you said earlier, Thomas Rongen, last year he got fired because he had a 5-year plan. Do you think if you guys don't make it to the championship this season, do you think Stewart gets fired? Do you think everything changes? Do you think you guys sort of not spend that much money as you are this year, or do you think you spend that money somewhere else?
No, I think I think Rongen had a different plan. I think Rongen was a very strong individual. You were more on the Bill Edwards train, not against it. So I think even if we don't finish, top four to make the playoffs, I think he stays. He's a good young coach. I like him. I have nothing against him, but I mean the way past coaches been treated before compared to now and then. I don't know. I don't know. Knows it's the Rowdies.
Yeah, so let's look forward to this weekend's matches. I know it's going to be a very exciting week. There's 3 clubs that are tied for first place, Spencer. We have Indy 11, Cosmos, and FC Edmonton all tied with 13 points, and your Rowdies are sitting in 10th place with 5 points. So sad. I just had to get that in there because I told them in the Total NASL group chat that they should support the Cosmos, and they said no. I just don't know why. So we have Indy 11 facing the Ottawa Fury. I personally think we're going to see Ottawa draw this match as well against Indy. I'm guessing a 2-2 draw. What do you think, Spencer?
I don't know what's going on in Ottawa, but I like it. And I think
Ottawa, they're playing well, man. They beat you.
I think they can pull out a win.
Yeah.
I think they could pull out a nice 1-0 win.
Come on, Ottawa.
They got Danny Mwenga, who's a completely different type of striker compared to what they have. So he can play over. I don't know if he'd be able to, but I think Ottawa's doing something good with what they have.
Puerto Rico FC Edmonton. I think Puerto Rico is one of the dark horses in the league. They may surprise a lot of people. I'm going with and what's very important about this match is that Edmonton travel to Puerto Rico. It's a 13-hour trip for them. So they compared it to it's like traveling from Toronto to London. So it's a pretty far trip for them, and that's why I think they're going to lose this match as well. They flew from Edmonton to Minnesota, from Minnesota to New York, from New York to Puerto Rico. So that's one hell of a trip. If I was an Edmonton player, I would have said I don't want to travel on this away trip for sure. Imagine traveling 13 hours and they had to leave Wednesday morning. You get there like Wednesday night. then you trade 2 days, and then you have to play Saturday. That's very intense. And then you have to probably take another 13 hours back home. That's really crazy. Really, really crazy. So I just think Puerto Rico's going to win that match.
I also think, Puerto Rico is a dark horse. I think they're going to upset some matches that people think they should lose in the fall season. I think once they get a couple more matches under the belt, get that chemistry going, they can be a good team. But I think Edmonton's going to win it. Edmonton, too, I think is going to win the fall season, actually.
Whoa.
So even with this crazy road trip, I think they just have good squad. And I think they'll be able to pull out a win out of Puerto Rico.
Yeah, they're in first place. Surprised the hell out of me. I wouldn't have expected that at all. So your Rowdies are playing another Florida match, Coastal Cup match, right? They're calling it like the Florida Classico, right? This match is gonna be in sports. Be in sports, man. Your team is getting massive, massive exposure. All Florida teams are, like, all these matches are on national TV. So I think last week, or no, this past Wednesday, or your latest match against Oklahoma, I think, was on national TV. I think CBS Sports.
It was on CBS Sports. I think Miami versus Indy also on CBS Sports. That just happened, or whatever.
No, that was on beIN Sports. Yeah,
beIN Sports. That's what it was. But I think Fort Lauderdale is struggling at the right time. And I think hopefully with the new signings and being home and getting some training under the belt, we'll get a win under that. Game. I know Fort Lauderdale, the actual team, not just the supporters group, is kind of trying to bring together some traveling fans from Fort Lauderdale to St. Pete. So it'll be interesting how many away fans are there for the game. Besides
can you just
whatever they are.
Flight 19, yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, can you just tell to our viewers that are not in Florida or don't know the geography in Florida, how far really is a road trip from Fort Lauderdale to St. Pete?
It's probably like 3.5, 4 hours, depending on the traffic. You're going basically from the bottom of Florida to halfway up. So you have to go across the state also. It's a little drive.
So it's a nice road trip. So I think in the past they brought a couple of people, right? Like a bus full, or maybe a bit less than that. Minnesota, Miami, another exciting match as well. Miami, I feel they are going to win this match. Miami improving. They signed a striker officially recently as well. So they are massively improving their squad. They're buying players that they don't even need. They didn't need Johnny Steele from Ottawa, but they bought him. So I wouldn't blame them. They're improving their team, and it just goes to show you that they want to win. And what's cool about what they're doing is that they're forcing owners to spend money as well. So, I think it was rumored that the Rowdies bought PC, right, Spencer? It wasn't made official, but
who knows?
Is it going to happen anytime soon? Do you have any insider information?
I don't have anything there. I mean,
so what do you thought of Minnesota?
Minnesota, that game. I think Miami's playing good. I like their, change. I like the signing of finally a striker that they can rely on probably. And I think I'm feeling a draw there. I'm not that confident in Miami yet. They haven't shown enough for me, but they are playing better. And I think Minnesota's a little stagnant. So we'll see how that goes.
And the last game on the weekend, a Sunday match. You always have to enjoy your Sunday matches, but it's not a Canadian team, so very shocking. New York Cosmos playing Rayo OKC at home, 4 p.m. kickoff time. So hopefully a lot of people have their eyes turned on this match because it is a clash for first place. I would have never thought Edmonton or Rayo OKC would be part of the mix for top of the table, but if things go wrong for my Cosmos, Rayo OKC could be at top of the table by the end of the weekend, which I would not want to see that happen. But if it does, they would be sort of making history because no one really beats the Cosmos at home. The Rowdies couldn't do it, but they have a chance to do it next weekend. So I'm going with a 2-1 prediction. I was going to go with 3-0, but I think Rayo's going to score some goals. A 2-1. It's going to be a very back and forth game. It's going to go back and forth. Spencer, what are your thoughts?
I think Rayo's playing very well, and I think that they can come in. You guys both play on turf, so
Yeah.
there's that factor that doesn't come into it. So I think Rayo is a very physical team, and I think Rayo can pull out like a 2-1 win for the opposite of what you're saying. I think they have a really good goalkeeper too. I think he has most shutouts in the league or something like that. I think either it'll be like a higher scoring game, like a 3-2, or it'll be like a 2, either the shutout for Rayo or it's a high scoring game like 3-2, but Rayo still wins.
I want to see 3 points Cosmos. Spencer, I know you don't want to see that, but hopefully the Cosmos win this match for sure. Let's talk about Rayo OKC because we never expected them, or I don't know, I think we did because before this season started, Teo said on the show, why is the NASL expanding to Oklahoma? It's the worst, not the worst city, but why would we bring a team there when they have a USL team? And then now we're hearing from at Franco SY, he's reporting on Twitter, he's hearing that many big changes could be happening in Rayo OKC front office. Spaniards are here and can't get around with money. And then he goes on to say that Spaniards have advised Rayo OKC staff and players that changes are coming. People could get fired. Players might have to move in together. Players might have to move in together. So what are your first thoughts on this? It's not like brand new news because we sort of expected this once they would have got relegated. That is Rayo Vallecano.
I think it's a little overreaction for. I mean, not an overreaction, but it's I think it was expected. I don't think that much is going to happen. I don't know how much Rayo Vallecano had invested in the club besides influencing the club that much. I thought it was kind of funny with the statement. Players might have to move in together, which does it state that the team pays for their housing possibly or something like that. So they might have to they'll try to cut money then and make players room together, which might be a thing if the team does pay for their housing, stuff like that. But I think it was expected. I mean, yeah, if there are people probably will get cut. I don't think they'll lose Rayo Vallecano as like the mother. I don't think they're going to pull out all the way completely with their funding and stuff like that. But I know the Rayo Vallecano fans, were mad at Rayo Vallecano because they have 2 teams, Rayo OKC and another Rayo team, I believe, and how they're spending all this money on those teams but not their own. So, I mean, the worst could happen or nothing could happen. But I'm hoping little or nothing will happen. I think it's a little overreaction right now, but we could wake up tomorrow and who knows.
Yeah, we saw before the season. I think the Rayo Vallecano fans were like, "Why are you spending money on a team in America when you can fix our stadium here?" Like their stadium looks a mess. So I don't know what their owners are thinking. I think what they thought was that they wanted to grow their brand abroad, right? Mm-hmm. But you're not a top team in La Liga. If you were competing like mid-table every season, I would be like, okay, I understand what you're doing. You're bringing in money in Spain and you're going abroad and just growing your brand. But because they're not that team, they're not that marquee team, then I just don't understand why a second division team is investing in the United States and you said they're investing somewhere else. I just can't understand their business strategy as a whole. I don't know. I'm hoping that we don't lose the team if it goes to there. Like, I hope we don't lose the team because that would be bad for the NASL. But they've been drawing decent crowds each game. They're on national TV for most of the time as well. So they're drawing some good crowds. They have some great players as well that draw some people to the matches. So I'm hoping we don't lose them, but I don't think it's going to get there yet. But we'll keep you updated if it does. But let's get talking about the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Bill Edwards, their owner, they call him the CEO, right? The governor of the Rowdies and the president. He has so many titles that people can't ever remember. But Bill Edwards, he got mad. This was after the Rowdies Cosmos match. And he said a statement, which I'm not going to read word from word, but he was just calling out their pro referees and saying how they've been calling bad calls the whole season. He even released a video, the club released a video of all the bad calls and sort of pointing out what the call should have been. And the Rowdies fans are calling that Bill Edwards' mixtape, which is pretty funny. And then Bill Peterson fined Bill Edwards for a record fine in the league. So I don't know how many people that got fined before that. So it could have been the first one. I'm not pretty sure. And then after that, he released in a statement through a media outlet. He released another statement, and he was saying some more stuff. And then he said, "I think I'm gonna get fined again." And then he said, "I'm gonna give Bill Edwards more money than I should," or something that he said, which was pretty funny. And I think this is a good discussion to have because a lot of people would say, why is Bill Edwards coming out and complaining? Rowdies fans should just shut up. You know what I mean? That's what people would think. But I think it's a right discussion to have. And Spencer, he hopefully agrees with me. I think when an owner comes out and says this, it shows that they care, number one, and that they want to see a change. But I don't like that Bill Peterson is not creating conversation. He's not letting us have a conversation with him. He's just saying, I'm the commissioner, you're the owner, I'm going to fine you because you shouldn't be saying this about the league that you are investing in.
Yeah, I think it's a good conversation, and I think it's needed because I think it's not just a Rowdy problem. I think it's not just a Tampa Bay problem. People say Tampa Bay fans, we complain a lot. Something doesn't go our way, blah blah blah. We lose, we complain. Yeah, we might complain a lot, but I think it's a league problem too because if you look at it, I mean that mixtape pointed out a lot of bad things. There were a couple calls in there in that mixtape, in the beginning of it, that you're like, I mean, you're trying to build something here, some fruitful stuff, but it could have. There were a couple of like 2 or 3. I'm like, okay, that could have went either way. But I mean, the majority of the mixtape was the Cosmos game. It seemed like, and I mean, that game was probably the worst officiated match I've ever seen in my life. It was pretty bad. Actually wasn't at the game because I was sick, so I was watching it from home. So it was even better. I'm hearing the commentators talk about it and stuff at home while I'm watching it. So it was different to view that way. But I think overall from the league, because a lot of our first officials in the NASL are, fourth officials in the MLS. They're not getting the experience. It's not like we're getting first officials being swapped through pro referees that are coming from, MLS and USL and NASL. It's not like they all don't rotate through each league. I mean, these officials that are their best officials or something are staying first officials in MLS, while we get fourth officials who are not getting experience, or just sitting on the sideline. I mean, beg to differ. I mean, they're not even the sideline officials are getting more experience than them. So can we get some sideline officials to be our number ones? I mean, I don't know what to do here and what the thing is, but I think overall as a league, the officiating hasn't been that. You want the league for the brand to grow. As the league to grow, if refs are dictating games and it's not a more attractive game to watch because of the officiating, that's bad on the league and it's bad for the NASL total to try to grow, get fans that are going to tune in every week nationally or even across the world that are going to want to go to the games to watch.
Yeah, Bill Edwards, he clearly stated in his statement, he said that he apologizes to fans who came out to that match and said, I don't want you to go away from the team because of the product that you saw on the field. So I sort of understand where he's coming from as a owner of a team. He's an investor that invests his money, and he wants to see a nice product on the field. He wants to see people be entertained and enjoy what they're watching. And if they're seeing, and this referee, I don't know his history, but it didn't look like he knew what he was doing. I think Spencer could be a better referee for sure. But I would not want to be the guy calling Rowdies Cosmos. I would just not want to be that guy. I would call Puerto Rico, Minnesota, or a random game, but not Cosmos Rowdies. That's very intense.
Also, I mean, people might think that it's bad for an owner to come out and say something like that. I also think that from the team of the players, your owner's coming out defending you, basically saying about the officiating. He's coming out, attacking the officiating practically, attacking the league, attacking pro referees, releasing this mixtape. It's also good for the team. I think the players then are going to really want to play for him. They want to give it their all because they know that their owner, Bill Edwards, the CEO, CFO, governor, commander-in-chief, whatever you want to call him, he's got their back, so now they're going to have his back. So I think it's also a good rallying cry. And I think that if it's caused some, players livelihoods are on the line when it comes to why is a ref deciding, some goals. I mean, there's been plenty of goals I think that have been offsides and stuff. I mean, I'm not going to get into it, but that's a goal that player scores. So let's say he scores it. That could be the reason why he's on this team next year, why he plays for another NASL team next year. If he gets for a 1-year contract, gets another contract next year because he scores. Besides that, and I also think that it's good, and possibly there could be another turn to this. I was thinking of maybe the way the team has played this year and where we are in the standings and league, standings and all that, he's doing bottom, but maybe we get better results in future games for the rest of the season. So there's also a turn that way.
And so just I totally understand what you're saying, and I totally agree with it as well. And do you think there's a solution of like what can the league do to improve the refs? Do you talk to Pro? Because Pro is created by MLS. So when you think about that, you're like, well, MLS probably hates the NASL, right? Because we're their competitor.
Yeah.
So they're probably just like saying like, oh, we'll send them the worst referees we have, and they probably want to make us go against each other. You know what I mean? But do you think the NASL creates our own referee organization? I don't know what you would call it, but that would sort of put a lot into the league because you would have to also run a referee organization. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I don't think
it's hard. Yeah,
I don't think they go and start their own. It's just that's too much money, and already you have smaller markets. Who knows, how much money team is bringing in, total. So who knows how much team is running in red or how much green for that to be able to, hold that for a league, or how much if the league's running in green or running in red. Who knows? So I think it has to be a thing taught with Pro. A Pro is its own establishment, theoretically, you hope, something like that. So with that, you would think, I mean, the USL games seem to be refed better than what are refed in NASL a lot of times. I mean, I don't watch a lot, but I mean, people don't complain about officiating in USL matches. I think all the refs, I think the Pro, all the refs would make it better. Like, you 1 week you might do, USL, you might do NASL, and be a sideline or a main official for an MLS game. I don't think you only have, or I don't know exactly how contracts work with Pro and all those leagues, but I think nation and not just having fourth officials become first officials. A fourth official shouldn't jump to a first official from a first division technically to a second division. A fourth official should jump from a fourth official to a number one official. That's third division. That way, we're technically second division, so we shouldn't have the worst refs. I think. I don't know.
I just think in the off season, I think the commissioner and the NASL officials should sit down with Pro and just have like a massive discussion with them. Or maybe it should happen today. Maybe it should happen like this season, because I think it has to be solved before Bill Edwards gets upset some more. Because what else can he do? You know, like what else can Bill Edwards do?
Yeah.
Say there's more bad calls against the Rowdies. What does he do? Does he talk some more and then get fined again? Does he get suspended? He doesn't show up anywhere. You know what I mean? So I don't know what can happen to Bill Edwards if he talks up again. I don't know. Maybe he gets fined some more money. I don't know. I just think it's a good discussion to have, and it should change. The refs should become way better. Maybe we should train these referees. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. And the guy that refed the Rowdies Cosmos, he didn't even have an earpiece in his ear. He didn't even have an earpiece.
Which is why he ran to both those sideline refs that one call, so he could see what they saw, which is idiotic.
Oh my god! Yeah, he wasted at least like 3 minutes running back and forth, and like it was on One World Sports, so the commentators were like, "What is he doing?" And like I've never seen this before, and you only see this in American soccer. Like you're not going to see that in like the Premier League. Like he's just gonna stop for like 5 minutes, just like running around the whole field.
We're not even gonna see that in Championship. What are we talking about? Premier League. We're not gonna see it in fourth division English soccer.
You don't even see that in like Spencer's like Sunday League team. You know what I mean? There's probably no ref there, or maybe
there's one ref. He keeps under control.
Oh my god. Okay, let's just move on to Florida Cup. That'll be the last topic we'll talk about. As you can sort of tell, it's the theme of Rowdies, right? They're making so much news throughout the past couple of weeks. They're part of the Florida Cup, which it makes their supporters and makes Florida citizens so excited, which I hope they are excited, the Florida residents, because they have world-class clubs that are coming to play there. Not Boca, River Plate, other world-class clubs from Germany, Wolfsburg, Bayer Leverkusen, Spencer's team. So it's going to be very exciting. Spencer, why is this so great for the Rowdies and for the future of the club?
I think it's a great opportunity to, show off Al Lang in theory. I mean, Al Lang, it's a beautiful spot. It's a very unique stadium, soccer area, because you're right there on the water. There's not many places in the world probably where you're on the water like that. There's a harbor right there where the boats are. You can look off. I mean, it's a very unique place, and it's nice. I think it's going to bring good, talented teams to Al Lang also. Like they already announced the River Plate versus Wolfsburg, which, I mean, River Plate is, that's a team right there that you want to go to, like a Boca versus River Plate game down there. Like, I want to go to one of those before I die. So that's a good team that people know about. You have Wolfsburg, too, as a Bundesliga team, which is a very well-known team, and I think we're guaranteed 3 home matches. So, obviously, versus somebody announced, and one other match that's going to have good teams. We still have more teams than be announced in the Florida Cup, too, and it's the largest event in, sports event, I believe it is. So it'd be very interesting. It's going to bring lots of money to there. I think it'll bring money to downtown St. Pete also, because I think people fly to, Al Lang or drive or St. Pete, spend money or stay nights in hotels. So it'd be good for the economy also.
Yeah, 100%. It brings money to the to downtown St. Pete, like Spencer said, and also, and I don't know how true this is, but they said that I think there's over 3 million people watch the Florida Cup matches. So the clubs probably show it live throughout the world and all that. So if the Rowdies are playing like Bayer Leverkusen, that's massive exposure. If some random dude in Germany doesn't know about the Rowdies, he's watching the Rowdies for 90 minutes, and he's like, who's the Rowdies? And he probably follows them on Twitter, probably checks them out, probably buys a kit. You know what I mean? So that's what it's all about, and it brings a lot of people to the area. And I think what it's all about is to bring more exposure to the Rowdies and to Al Lang and to the league and all that. So as a NASL fan, I'm not a big fan of the Rowdies, but I'm on board with the Florida Cup. I would love to see my Cosmos be on board with the Florida Cup, but I don't know if they're thinking about Florida Cup at the moment or thinking about preseason at all, because it's pretty weird for a club to say, okay, we're going to plan our preseason today. We're in the middle of the season, and the Cosmos are sort of planning for where they're going to play next season, because I don't think that they're going to play at Hofstra. So I think I would start thinking about that before I would think about if I'm going to Florida or not. You know what I mean? If you're the Cosmos, I'm thinking, where are we playing next season? Are we going to sell some tickets? I just don't know. So I would not plan about Florida. I would like to see them play in Florida Cup because, again, we're the Cosmos. And Spencer said, why do the Cosmos have to be a part of everything? Because we're the Cosmos. I just think it just talks for itself, right? But lastly, we'll talk about the other Florida club, the club that most people don't want to talk about, Jacksonville Armada. I am with you, Logie. I understand your frustration, but I support a winning team. No offense to all Armada supporters out there. But let's talk about Tony Meola, okay? Because everyone is calling for him to be sacked. Hashtag Tony Meola out. That is being tweeted a lot. I want to see it get in trending soon. Everyone, just tweet Tony Meola out. Let's do it. Let's get it trending throughout the world. Imagine that. Then I think Mark Fisher would be like, wow, I think let's listen to the supporters today. But on a serious note, I think Tony Meola shouldn't be fired, even though he is not coaching very well. But I think the problem with the Armada is that they don't give time to their managers. Like we saw with their first manager. They gave him at least, I think it was like a half a season or more than half of the season, and then they sacked him. They put their interim manager in there, and he did pretty well. So I would have potentially put him as the full-time manager. But then they brought in Tony Meola. In the beginning, when the press conference was going on for Tony, I truly thought he had a plan. I thought he was going to be the best manager for them, and he was going to put in a project to make them be one of the best clubs in the league. But we're not seeing that. And I don't know if it falls on Tony and what he's doing, or does it fall on ownership and the front office that they're not giving him maximum resources? Where do you think it falls? Do you think it falls on Tony or the front office?
I tweeted last week or something. I said Tony Meola should be fired by Monday. You know, he should be sacked. I mean, granted, I don't think he has talent to, and then granted, there's, you know, the lack of talent might be there, but I mean, we're seeing poor results for a team. I mean, they've never had a road win yet, ever. They've never won on the road. Like, it just blows my mind thinking about that, how they've never won a match on the road yet. They came out, what was it, like, they played Indy just last night. It was like in a 3-5-2. That didn't work at all. They ended 5-2.
They lost 5-2, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I think you have quality players. I mean, Pascal Million and stuff like that. You have players that have any that aren't terrible. I just think he's not that good of a tactician. I don't think he positions his players in the best formations and makes the best subs and the match. I mean, he might be liked by the opponent. I don't understand. I think he should be out. There is, you know, the club is behind him saying, okay, yeah, we haven't given you, you know, stuff like that, which then maybe that's why he's experimenting, you know, now to see what they can do with formation-wise and what they can get done. I think they're starting keeper now, who had an amazing game against the Rowdies. The only reason why I ever think that he's like a third or fourth string when they started the season. So, I mean, that's where they are now. So, I mean, you know, half of it I think is on Tony Meola, and then you get mad at him, but then I think the other half is on, you know, the ownership there. But they need to spend money, not sell Richie Ryan for $750,000 and do what with it? What did they do with it? I mean, they didn't buy anybody with it. I mean, and as I said, because they spent $750,000 on Richie Ryan, and then the Philadelphia went spent $1 million on Bedoya. So
wow. So you're trying to say the Armada should spend $1 million? And
I didn't say that.
The record for the NASL on transfer fees.
No, I think they should buy people. I mean, they got $750,000 for Richie Ryan.
Who do they buy with that? Like, you
what
get
are they doing with it?
You get $750,000. Who do they go out there and buy? Like the USL MVP? You know what I mean? Like,
I mean,
you shouldn't cost that much money at all. But
you don't think that this MVP. But I mean, you might buy him. You might buy people to score goals. You might go. I mean, you do something with it. Are they using it to stay afloat? Who knows? Because they didn't spend money on players. It seems like.
Maybe they should make a trade for Tommy Heineman. I don't know if they can actually pay a salary. I'm not pretty sure. But, yeah, I don't know. Guys, tell me what you guys think. Do you think Tony Miller should be sacked? Like Spencer said, he said that he should have been sacked. I think this upcoming Monday, or he said last Monday. I'm not pretty sure. But he should have been sacked, or he should be sacked on Monday, like what Spencer said. Do you want your club to participate in Florida Cup? Reportedly, there is going to be another U.S. Club. Is it the Deltas? They follow them on Twitter. It could be the Deltas. Could it be the Cosmos? Are they even thinking about preseason? I'm hoping they're not. If they are, then that means they're just not thinking about their future at all. So yeah, that's all we have here on Total NASL TV for this week. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. I'm so thankful to have Spencer on for tonight. Thank you, Rowdies fan, aka Spencer, for joining the show. Hopefully you get to talk to Bill Edwards and tell him that I'm frustrated as well about the referees. Maybe we should get Bill Edwards on the show and have sort of like a town hall meeting about referees and just talk about how we can improve the refs. If you guys want to see that, comment below.
We'll get fined.
Yeah, we'll get fined by Bill Peterson. He would fine the media because, I don't know, maybe we need to get Bill Peterson and Bill Edwards on the show. That would be a hell of a show. And I think we would break.
Kind of like we host Trump Hillary, you know. We're going to have Bill Peterson and Bill Edwards.
Yeah, we're going to have like the referee debate. Yeah, we're going to have a referee debate.
We'll even have the ref. We'll even have the ref from the Cosmos Rowdies.
Oh my God, that would be hilarious. So we're going to have Bill Peterson, we're going to have Bill Edwards, and we're going to have the random ref that someone randomly picked for that match. I think when it's the biggest matches, I think they should have the ref that has the most experience, right?
Yeah,
So
you think like a Rowdies Cosmos match would draw the most, or one of the more viewers of that week to a match. You think they'd have a better ref on it?
well, funny enough, that match was on One World Sports, but they put cricket instead of the match. So you could only watch the match online for like the first half, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken. Because for the past couple of weeks, One World Sports has been showing cricket instead of Cosmos. They even showed cricket instead of Minnesota Puerto Rico. Minnesota Puerto Rico was on a YouTube channel on One World Sports live stream, free for everyone on YouTube. So look where the league is going: national TV to YouTube. So I'll just leave you guys with that one. Let's go NASL. Let's improve our refs. Hopefully, Pro is watching this and they phone us and talk about the refs, because that's really what we want. We want to fix the problem ourselves. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Subscribe, like, comment below as you see fit. He's playing some music and he loves his life. And we'll see you guys real soon.